Hi loves, it's Elle and welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for being here and happy Foundation Friday. Today we're going to be talking about a new cream foundation that I don't know if you have ever heard of, and I want to share it with you because I've been wearing it a lot lately. So before we get started, hit that subscribe button, share this video with somebody you think might like it, and let's do it. Alright, so we are talking all about this foundation right here. It has blush all over it because I'll tell you why in a second. The packaging is just stunning. I absolutely love this. This is a company called WESTMAN Atelier, and it's actually started by the world-renowned and very famous makeup artist called Gucci Westman. And it is something that I have been wanting to try for a very long time. It did recently come out. It is something that I've been wanting to try since it came out, which it recently launched, I'd say about 4 or 5 months ago. And I want to tell you about this line. This is a luxurious cream foundation, rich in antioxidants and formulated with active ingredients to combat redness, calm irritation, even out the complexion, and boost moisture. It has a molten texture that melts into the skin for a radiant and natural finish. Your natural skin effortlessly enhanced. This formula has no silicone, no parabens, no PEGs, no talc, no phthalates, or synthetic fragrances. It's also vegan and cruelty-free. It is a bit pricey. It's $68. I picked it up when I was in LA last time at Violet Gray. So if you are in Southern California and Los Angeles, that's where you can get it, or at Barney's, a couple other places. I'll list them below. But I also want to this is basically like a skincare foundation that is super clean, high-end, but done so well, I can't even tell you. So it has vegetable-derived squalene in it. So we know that squalene is great for enhancing hydration and overall health of the skin when you wear it. It has a compound that helps skin conserve moisture and provides anti-inflammatory activity, reducing the appearance of fine lines and targeting specific redness and inflammation. It has camellia seed oil, which is one of my favorite oils from Tatcha, so they're using this as well to protect the skin from environmental pollutants. But I do want to pull your attention to it. It does have coconut oil in it, so if you are coconut oil sensitive, again, you know I am not. This is not something that you can use, obviously. And of course, they are cruelty-free. And I just think this is fantastic. I really do. I think that I love seeing a makeup artist, one that is so well known, come out with her own brand that is so responsibly done. So what it is, it's like a little stick, okay? And it is just stunning, and you just boop, and there is the foundation. I also have her cream blush, and I will apply that after this is all on to show you guys that as well. Now, for me, I have worn this multiple times, and the way I like to wear it, and it's how I've prepped my skin, is with a nice hydrating skincare routine, but then I also like to use it with a hydrating SPF. Yes, this foundation is glowy. Yes, this foundation retains moisture and it kind of has a radiance to the skin, but it is by no means a luminous foundation. All skin types really could gravitate towards this, even if you're oily. I've worn it with a couple primers underneath it, and to be honest with you, in my opinion, it doesn't really need a primer. Unless you're supposed to be, unless you want to target something like larger pores or oil reduction. But for most makeup artists that have been around for a really long time, primers are not something that we have always used. And we always look for formulas that would perform for us, and this is one of them. And it's just no shock to me that that's how she formulated this. So when you see her use this formula, she uses her hands a lot, as most makeup artists do. She uses a brush, and it really does nicely with actually all of those tools. So if you are more oily combination, please feel free to really indulge in using a brush and your fingers, as well as if you are more normal to dry, you can use your fingers, but I like to use a sponge for my skin type since I am more normal to dry, because you'll see how darn quick this is to apply, okay? So I got color Atelier 1, I think is what it's called, and I'll double check and I'll put the color below. But all you do is you just go like this, and you're gonna build coverage in the middle of the face first, and then you can spread it out. I would say this is more of a light to medium coverage foundation. It's not something that is super full coverage. It just is like enough for all of those kind of small pesky things that you want to cover up. And all I do is I just move my sponge all the way around the face. And I do bring it underneath the eyes just a little bit, you know, not aggressive. All right, and I like this sponge because it's meant to smooth along the face. And that's it. Look how gorgeous the skin looks. Now, if you want a little bit more fuller coverage, what I recommend is doing a technique like this first and really giving it a nice base all over the face. And then if you really want a little bit more extra coverage, which y'all know me by now, is that I like a little extra coverage right here and right here. And it goes on beautifully over the nose, and this is a really good match for me in color. I forgot to tell you, I use the Josie Maran Tinted SPF first, and for me, I like a little bit more radiance with this foundation because I am more on that drier skin type side, but please do not feel like you absolutely have to use something like this that has so much of a glow. Again, you know I don't do first impressions all that often, and this is how it best suits me to wear this foundation. So I'm gonna get up real close so you guys can see everything, and yeah. All right, so that is literally as quick as it is. It takes me 5 seconds to apply this foundation and get a beautiful complexion. I am actually considering buying most of her line to put in my kit because it is that good. There is no SPF in it, so it won't have flashback in pictures. And she does actually recommend buying 2 different colors. Reason being, again, as a makeup artist, we don't usually, for the most part, use one color foundation on clients. I don't. I absolutely will mix between 2 to 3 colors depending upon their shade and depending upon their skin tone. So if you want to, that's what she suggests, is getting one that is more light so you can bring some light into the, you know, the center of the face, and one that matches you perfectly to use around the perimeter. I really highly recommend that if you want to, if you are more medium to deep skin tone, because you're probably going to be used to that already. It's going to give you the most beautiful flawless finish, and it looks more like skin when you do that. So I'm going to go finish my concealer, my brows, and then I'm going to show you how the cream blush applies because it's gorgeous. All right, so everything is basically on. I just wanted to show you this beautiful little cream blush, and this one is in Petal. And okay, so what I've done is I have powdered underneath my eyes, I've powdered my forehead, and with this foundation I use a regular translucent setting powder. Today I use the Charlotte Tilbury. Pick your favorite, doesn't really matter. I did set my eyes with the Hourglass. So no powder first on the cheeks, and you just go like this. Very, very easy. You take your little beauty blender and you bounce this in. And it gives you a really natural flush. So there it is with just the blush. And then I usually just use a bronzer. I'm just using an Hourglass bronzer. And I will go right at the back of the hairline and bring it right over my blush. And that is as much as I do. All right, so there we are, nice and dewy and glowy. Let's actually go into some natural light and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, love, so here we are in natural light, so you can see everything up close and personal. Isn't it gorgeous? It is like the most natural, healthy, it is the most beautiful foundation I have tried in a very long time in this format. It rivals RMS, probably done better in my opinion. It is by far one of my very favorite clean stick foundations. It makes the skin look radiant, and I also wanted to say please don't feel like you have to have an luminous primer underneath it. You don't need it if you don't like to be as glowy as me, but this is what works for me. Now, it does not claim to be a long-wearing foundation, but I have worn it for almost 7 hours, and it looked gorgeous. We are going to give this a full wear test today, so I will see you back in a few hours. All right, loves, we are back actually 3.5 hours later, and it looks still really good. Here we are, super close again. You know, it feels really lightweight on the skin. I forgot to tell you that. It feels extremely lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy at all. For me, it hasn't gotten too much glowier. It will, for me, since I have that primer on, or that SPF on. It will get glowier throughout the day, but as you know me, I don't mind that at all. So this is where we're at right now, about 3.5 hours later. Of course, I will check in probably another 3 hours. And you absolutely could set this with a setting spray that does have alcohol in it to keep this wearing a little bit longer if you wanted to. Again, not super great for everyday use, but definitely an option for sure. And if you wanted to use a primer too, you can to help it last a little bit longer. But that is it, and I will see you all back in just a little bit. Bye. Hi loves, we are at a total of 8.5 hours of wear, and this is what it looks like. It hasn't gotten like too much glowier. Yeah, I have my sunglasses lines. I've been out at the park, and it's been a nice day recently around here, so we have been enjoying being outside. But overall, it's a great foundation. Honestly, like, the big thing for me is that to tell you is that it's not super long wearing, but there are ways to adjust that, like I talked about before, to make it more long wearing. But again, this is a skincare green clean foundation, and it is one of the best that I have tried. It's definitely on the top and will be on the top of my green clean foundations for 2019 for sure. I can't wait to wear it again. I love it. Of course, I would touch up with this foundation, but there's not too much that needs to be done. Maybe just like right around here for me that needs to be touched up. I do touch my nose a lot, but overall, this foundation is beautiful. If you really want to spend the money, have some luxury green. I mean, it's luxury. Let's just be real. But I love it. I support it. I am loving the cream blush. It's beautiful. And overall, I'm excited to wear it again. So let me know if you guys have heard of this foundation, if you would like to try it, if that's your jam. And I will see you on the next one. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Sunday. Lots of love from me to you. Mwah. Bye, loves.